Hey everyone, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So we're talking about Tesla, and the question is, should we be jumping in this thing post-split, or should we be jumping out post-split? I want to show you some numbers, share some thoughts, and get your thoughts on this one as well. Let's start with this. So this is a 5-year chart, and this is something that a lot of channels on YouTube basically rely on. And it's true. If you got in Tesla in 2018, bought a bunch of shares, right? Clearly, you did very, very well. You're up, say, 1,000%, which is fantastic. However, the question is, if you buy today, are you going to go up 1,000% in the next 5 years? My bet would be no. But other people try to sort of pump up Tesla to say, hey, if it can grow 1,000% in 5 years, the next 5 years are going to be another 1,000%. That's what people try to make that case. The problem is with what I see, and I'm just looking at the chart first. I do definitely see a rocket ship going up, but I feel like we're a slow grind going down. So if you disagree with this assessment, please let me know. But I'm just looking at the chart, right? I don't talk about charts that much, but I'm just looking at it right here. And like I said, if you disagree with this assessment of the chart, please let me know. Also, too, here I can see here the PE ratio is 103. So they are profitable, 100%. Tesla is a profitable company. However, at a PE of 103, I consider the stock to be expensive. The basic gist of it, for those who are new to the market, if a stock is trading at 103 PE, then you would probably want a earnings growth of like 110%, something like that, or around that range. Basically, you would want the earnings to be doubling. I don't see that happening. And this is just, kind of looking just at numbers. However, to make the case, as you could say, Chris, you're so dumb. Don't you know that Tesla's growth is earning? Is this growing like crazy? Yeah, I can see it. In fact, I can show you it. So it's true. Their earnings growth is growing. So in 2018, they were losing $1 a share. And you move forward here, they're currently like around, 2.77 or $3 a share in earnings, right? You can see it right here. So their earnings are growing, right? But is it going to be essentially doubling every year or something of that nature? Because remember, that's what you're sort of expecting when you're paying a P ratio of 100. The other way you could take a look at it as well is, okay, so what is a fair price of Tesla? This is the history of the stock of where it's traded. And this essentially is price discovery. You can see here there was a massive run up in PE. Like at one point, Tesla was 1,376 PE ratio, which is really, really insane. Clearly, it was overvalued. The stock did come down to our current 100, but you can see this is a sort of a chart showing the crazy volatility in terms of PE ratio. First, I showed you earnings. Yes, it's growing. Now I'm showing you PE in terms of like what we value the stock at, and the PE sort of where we're trading at definitely seems to be coming down. The other thing too I want you to take a look at as well is actual sort of earnings and estimates of what the kind of growth we expect. Again, if our PEs are in the hundreds, I want 100% earnings growth. That's what I want. Also too, you could say, okay, I want to talk about projections. I don't want to talk about the past, which I also think is a great thing to talk about. I have a forward PE of around 69, okay, currently, and a forward PE for say 2023 around 50. So if earnings maintain on this trajectory, this is sort of what you're looking at. The problem is that even people who are Tesla bulls say, maybe the rosiest case scenario would be 50% earnings growth per year. I don't know how long that could last, but this is certainly, I'm giving you the bull case. The problem is you're pricing the stock right there. And so if anything sort of bad happens, the stock's going to fall, right? If anything, and like interest rates go up, and people say, you know what, I don't want to buy a Tesla when I have to, borrow money for like 6% a year or 7% a year or 10% a year, or whatever it's going to be for people who are buying a car. And the question I want to ask you is like, do you think the consumer is going to be strong? Some people will say yes, but I just want you to be aware of if I'm buying a stock at, say, forward PE of, say, 70, then I want growth of 75, something of this nature, right? So regardless of where you think the growth is going to be, I want to give you an idea of like sort of how I look at Tesla and what I think about growth. I know the company's growing, but the way it's priced right now, it's priced to be growing at, say, 75% earnings, 100% earnings, these kind of things, right? So forward P is usually the one you want to look at, forward multiples. And again, this is at what I consider to be too high. The other thing, too, which I want to show you guys as well, is if you just ask the robots, what's Tesla's fair price, they would make the case that Tesla is 71% overvalued. And I get it. People are going to be so mad when they see this. Oh,
Chris, you're so dumb. You don't understand numbers at all. You don't understand that Tesla's more than a car company.
okay, I guess not. I guess I don't understand anything, and I'm so stupid. But I just like to look at numbers. This is sort of what I do. And one of the things that I can see that its revenue is growing, but I can also see too that most of their revenue is generated from car sales. The energy storage and the solar stuff just isn't that big right now, so it's pretty much negligible. Also, too, you guys can see it yourself visually. You can see that this is all about future. It is a healthy company, but it is not a value company. It's not a dividend company. I prefer dividend stocks in this environment because I think things are going to be volatile. I think things are going to be flat. I don't see rosy scenario in the next couple of years, mostly due to rising interest rates and a slowing economy. Tesla itself, though, if you take a look at the future here, they are growing. I keep saying that over and over again. They are growing. Some of the estimates, though, are saying something like maybe you're looking at earnings growth of 24%. People might say that's too low a projection. I could see 30, 35%. I don't know if they're going to grow 50, 70, 80% per year. It just seems kind of difficult. The basic gist of it is that, guys, is that think of it this way. In year one, I can make one car. In year two, I can make two cars. Suddenly, I've doubled my revenue and theoretically doubled my earnings, right? Year three, I can double it again. I can go from 2 cars to 4 cars and I can double again. The problem is that you get to be a certain point and you get to be more mature. That let's say you're producing 1 million cars a year, to go suddenly from 1 million to 2 million is pretty a tall order, right? And then to go from 2 million to 4 million, right? So I just want to just sort of give you guys an idea of like why I don't think Tesla can go 1,000% in the next 5 years the way some people paint it, because the growth in the beginning is going to be much, much faster, much, much crazier than the growth as it starts to mature, and you get more companies entering into the market to compete with Tesla. It is true, though, if you take a look at the health of the company, I just want to show you guys some things here. They are a very, very healthy company. You can see here that they have debt, 3.2 billion. I can see it right there. And in fact, if you look at their cash, they have like 18 billion in cash. So they got cash that can just pay off all their debt if they want. They probably don't need to, but they could. So in terms of financially stable, they're totally fine. The biggest problem with Tesla is just mostly their valuation. The valuation being that the stock is trading too high, in my opinion. And so, and I get it, man. I get it. If I come up on YouTube here and I just, be Tesla Bull Channel 24/7, make Tesla video after Tesla video saying that Tesla's the best company in the world, it's more than a car company, and you should pay any price for Tesla stock, you become a popular channel. The problem is I just don't believe it. I don't believe the numbers are to the favor of I want to be buying it at any price. I would want to be buying, if I'm going to get into Tesla, I would say forward P's of 40s and 50s would be more realistic. And so, like, again, when I see these forward P's of 69, it scares me off. One thing, though, to be fair, right? YouTubers are not the only people pumping up Tesla. You got Wall Street pumping up Tesla as well, right? So this is just how this game is played. So some of these Wall Street people are like 20% upside from here, 29, 30, right? But there's some people who don't play that game, and they're just like, you know what, 50% downside from here, 52% downside, right? So not everyone is on the Tesla pump board, 47% downside, right? But there are many Wall Street people that are. However, just do be aware that Wall Street has a sell side, and they're trying to sell a story to retail investors to get you to, basically sell their stocks to you. That's how this game is played. And one of the things that I want to point out as well is like one of your biggest Tesla bulls, Dan Ives, and he's basically a tech bull. And one of the things I want to point out, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen this thing before, but like these kind of people, they go on TV and they basically just say buy every stock. And why do I say they say that? Because that's what they say. If you take a look here, Dan Ives, he gives a buy rating on 75% of the stocks that he covers, 23% of the stock he says hold, and only 1% of the stocks that he covers he says to sell. So that's the kind of guy that you're talking about. And it's funny. I just wanted to point that out because there's going to be, several YouTube channels out there that basically just say buy Tesla at this price, no matter what the price is, buy Tesla at 100, buy Tesla at 200, buy Tesla at 500, buy Tesla at 1,000, just any price, buy it at. and I just think that is a, poor way to make investment choices. It's just my opinion on that, but I just think it's a poor way. For me, because when people always say, when would I get into Tesla? For me, when I feel like I'm getting a forward PE that is reasonable to what I think a reasonable growth for Tesla would be, that's when I think is okay. There's always a quote that you can use from Buffett, which I think is perfectly adequate, which, he'd rather have a good company at a fair price than a good price on, say, a fair company. That's the basic gist of it. So, Tesla's a good company. And in my opinion, a fair price would be, maybe they're going to do 30% growth, which is actually fantastic. If you can grow your revenue year over year over year, 30%, that is spectacular growth, to be fairly frank. Because generally speaking, if you could tell me I can give you an investment and your investment could grow, say, 10, 50% every year for like, a million years, yeah, I'd take that bet. But the problem is the way Tesla stock is priced. You're pricing in growth at like, 50, 60, 70% a year. And it's hard for me to see that kind of revenue growth in the current environment that we're in. So that's sort of my feelings on Tesla. I know that people will make the argument against. They'll say, Chris, you're so dumb. Don't you know that, electric vehicles are going to go to the moon and Tesla's going to keep growing like crazy? My opinion is that, half of Tesla's sales or revenue, you could say, is in California and in China. I just don't see the Chinese government giving their, how can I say, approval on Tesla. I think they're going to come up with ways to boost up their market, and I think Tesla's going to really struggle in China. That's just my opinion, and I do understand that Tesla is popular in China, but I just think that the Chinese brands will have so much support from the government that it'll be tough. Not that Tesla's not going to sell anything in China, but I don't think the scenario is as rosy as people paint it out to be. Here at home, they're also going to face competition as well. One of the things that you guys may or may not know, but both Ford and GM are backed by the U.S. government, so I think that's going to be tough. Tesla's still going to be around. People like Teslas, but as the prices keep going up on these things, as the economy struggles, I just don't see it. One of the things that is a real thing is that Tesla, the Model 3, is their big seller. And essentially what that tells you is that people like to buy a Tesla, but they're not going to buy the most expensive one. They want to buy the cheapest one possible, essentially. And most of your competition is going to be coming in to compete with the Model 3. In my opinion, the Model 3 is an ugly car, in my opinion. I think Tesla's got good technology, but I think the Model 3 is an ugly car. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you disagree. If you think, no, Chris, you're dumb, the Model 3 is an awesome looking car. And, I think people buy cars based on the way they look. If you disagree with me, please let me know. But I think that's a real thing. I do think people do like technology. I don't disagree with you in that. But I think as the other cars start to catch up, because I'm not discounting BMW or Mercedes, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai. Kia is going to be in the game, Ford and GM. There's going to be a lot of competition out there. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. I think it's a good company, but I do want you to take a look at the numbers and understand that I believe they will grow, but not at the rates that the stock is currently trading at. And again, when I look at the chart, I do see that it was growing right at one point, but I feel like it's been on a downward trend the last year or so, and the market is also on a downward trend. So if you disagree with that, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I do think there'll be times ahead where you'll be able to get back into Tesla stock again. Tesla is a good trading stock if you're into trading. I think the average person is not, but it is a good trading stock. You can certainly trade the volatility. So love to hear your thoughts on Tesla. Love to hear if you think that Tesla's worth a PE of 100 and tell me that I'm wrong. I'd love to hear about this. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.